The guitars hit instantly, like a brutal explosion. No build, no warning, just raw distorted power, ripping through silence, while the drums crash like a war signal. The ground shakes under your feet as the riff tears forward like a machine breaking loose. The sound is heavy, violent, unstoppable, crashing through your chest like a second heartbeat. No fear, no doubt, no hesitation. Hits when the pain grows, when the whole world says you're done. You don't slow, victory or nothing. Stand tall, victory or nothing. Break walls, victory or nothing. No fear, victory or nothing. Right here, victory or nothing. Push through, victory or nothing. Break you. The guitars grind heavier now, like metal crushing stone, while the drums pound like a war engine in your chest. Every second builds more aggression, more energy, more force. Your lungs burn, but the rhythm takes control. Your body wants to stop, but your mind locks in harder. Because this is the moment where most people quit. And you don't. Every step forward becomes violence against limits. Every breath becomes proof that you're still in The guitars scream like metal tearing apart, while the drums roll like thunder exploding across the sky. Now the rhythm becomes unstoppable. Everything fades except movement, sound, and force. Pain disappears, only drive remains, because the truth is simple: you were never fighting to survive. You were fighting to win. Victory or nothing. Stand strong. Victory or nothing. Fight on. Victory or nothing. No fear. Victory or nothing. Right here. Victory or nothing. Give all. Victory or nothing. No fall. The guitars explode instantly like a detonation, ripping open the silence while the drums slam down with brutal force, like steel crashing into concrete. The sound hits like a shockwave and the rhythm locks into your chest immediately. The moment the riff hits the ground, begins to shake under your feet, and the pulse inside your chest starts pounding like a war drum. Cold air tears through your lungs while the guitars roar like a storm tearing across the sky. The world keeps whispering that the fight is too heavy and the distance too far, but the louder the drums crash, the stronger the fire inside your chest begins to burn. Every step becomes louder than doubt, every breath becomes proof that the body can push further. Because the moment the battle starts, the truth becomes simple. You fight or you fall. This is war. Stand strong. This is war. Fight on. This is war. No fear. This is war. Right here. This is war. Breakthrough. This is war. Break you. The guitars roar louder like thunder, tearing through the sky while the drums pound like artillery shaking the earth. The rhythm becomes savage and unstoppable. Every mile forward becomes another strike against the limits that once tried to stop you. Every breath becomes another weapon in the fight, because the strongest fighters are built in chaos. This is war! Stand tall! This is war! Break walls! This is war! Stay strong! This is war! Fight on! The guitars explode immediately, like a violent electric surge ripping through the silence, while the drums slam down with brutal force like iron striking concrete. There is no slow build, no warning, just raw power crashing forward like a machine breaking loose from its cage. Drums pound like war drums, echoing through your chest. Every second the rhythm gets louder, harder, sharper, pushing your body into motion. The air burns in your lungs, but the fire in your blood burns hotter. Your feet hit the ground like hammer blows against steel. The world outside keeps trying to slow you down with pressure, noise, and doubt. Voices whisper that the fight is too heavy and the distance too far, but the moment the guitars roll, something inside your mind flips like a switch. The hesitation disappears and the body locks into pure momentum. Pain turns into energy, pressure turns into strength, and the harder the music hits, the harder you move forward. Break the chains, stand strong. Break the chains, fight on. Break the chains, no fear. Break the chains, right here. Break the chains, push through. Break the chains. The guitars roll louder like a storm tearing across the sky, while the drums pound like artillery, shaking the ground beneath your feet. The rhythm becomes violent and unstoppable. Every step forward crushes another barrier that once held you back. Every breath proves that the body can go further than the mind once believed. Sweat falls like sparks hitting the asphalt, while the pulse inside your chest beats harder and harder. The truth becomes clear in the middle of the noise. Limits were never real, they were just fear wearing a disguise. And tonight, fear gets destroyed. The guitar screamed violently through the air, while the drums roll like thunder crashing through a storm. The sound grows bigger, heavier, louder with every second. Now the rhythm feels savage and unstoppable as the world begins to blur around you. The road disappears under your feet while the drums pound like a second heartbeat. Every mile behind you proves the fight that built you. Every scar becomes a weapon. The pressure that once tried to break you now fuels the machine you became. Because the strongest moment in the battle is the moment you refuse to quit. Break the chains, stand tall. Break the chains, break walls. Break the chains, stay strong. Break the chains, fight on. Break the chains, no fear. Break the chains, right here. Break the chains. The guitars explode externally like a violent electric surge ripping through the dark, while the drums slam down like iron hammers crashing against the ground. The sound hits like a shockwave with no warning, just pure aggression and momentum from the first second. The riff grinds heavy and brutal while the drums pound like war drums echoing through your chest. Every beat hits harder and deeper like a machine forcing your body into motion. Your feet strike the ground like hammer blows against steel while the cold air burns through your lungs. Every step feels heavier, but the rhythm refuses to slow. The world outside keeps whispering that the fight is too hard and the distance too long. But the moment the guitars roll louder, something inside your mind snaps into focus. The hesitation disappears, the doubt burns away, because pressure doesn't break warriors. Pressure creates the break the limit, stand strong, break the limit, fight on, break the limit, no fear, break the limit, right here, break the limit, push through, break the limit, right here. and relentless. Sweat falls like sparks hitting the ground, while the pulse inside your chest beats faster and harder. Every mile forward crushes another barrier that once held you back. Every breath proves that the body can go further than the mind once believed. The harder the rhythm hits, the stronger the motion becomes, because limits are nothing more than walls waiting to be destroyed. To a violent solo, screaming through the sky, while the drums roll like thunder across a storm. The sound grows louder and heavier with every second. Now the rhythm becomes unstoppable as the road blurs under your feet, and the world fades into noise and motion. The drums pound like a second heartbeat, while the guitars grind like steel against concrete. Pain fades into background noise, only the drive remains, because the strongest fighters are not the ones who avoid pain. They are the ones who move through it. Break the limit, stand tall. Break the limit, break walls. Break the limit, stay strong. Break the limit, fight on. Break the limit, no fear. Break the limit, right here. The guitars erupt instantly, like a violent explosion, tearing through silence, while the drums crash down like massive steel hammers, smashing the ground. No build-up, no warning, just pure force hitting like a shockwave. While the drums pound like war drums, echoing through your chest. Every beat hits deeper, harder, louder, forcing the rhythm into your blood. Your feet strike the ground like hammer blows against iron, while the cold air burns through your lungs. Every step feels like impact, every breath feels like pressure. The world keeps whispering that the fight is too hard and the distance too far, but the louder the guitars roll, the stronger the fire inside your chest becomes. Doubt turns into rage, pain turns into power. In the moment the rhythm locks into your pulse, you realize something brutal. You were built for this war. Built for war. Stand strong. Stand strong. Built for war. Fight on. Built for war, no fear. Built for war, right here. Built for war, push through. Built for war, break you. chest beats harder and harder. Every step forward crushes another barrier that once held you back. Every breath becomes another proof that the body can survive more than the mind believes. The harder the music hits, the stronger your movement becomes. Because fighters are not created in calm moments, they are forged in chaos. The guitars explode into a brutal solo, screaming across the sky while the drums roll like thunder, breaking through a storm. The energy rises higher and higher. Now the rhythm becomes violent and unstoppable as the road blurs beneath your feet. The world fades into sound, motion breathing and the pounding of drums. Pain disappears into the background, the fire inside takes control. Because the strongest moment in the fight is the moment you refuse to stop moving. Built for war, stand tall. Built for war, break walls. Built for war, stay strong. Built for war, no fear. Built for war, right here. Built for war, right here. Break you. Guitars hit instantly, like a violent detonation, ripping through the silence while the drums slam down like a hammer striking steel. There is no calm intro, no soft build, just a wall of sound crashing forward like a machine waking up at full power. Chest like a war drum echoing through your ribs. The guitars grind like metal tearing against concrete, while the drums pound harder and harder with every second. Your lungs burn from the cold air rushing inside, but the fire in your blood refuses to fade. Every step becomes heavier, faster, louder than the one before. The world outside keeps trying to slow you down with doubt, pressure and noise, but the moment the riff hits, something inside your mind snaps into focus. Drums pound like artillery, shaking the ground. The rhythm becomes violent, unstoppable, relentless. Every mile forward becomes another challenge, fast under your feet. Every breath becomes a fight between exhaustion body stops when the mind gives up. And tonight the mind refuses to break. The louder the music becomes, the more the body responds. Like a machine pushed past its limit, you realize something brutal in this moment. Limits were never real. Scream violently across the sky, while the drums roll like thunder, crashing through the storm. Now the rhythm becomes savage and unstoppable as the road blurs under your feet. Every step hits like a hammer strike against the ground. The world fades behind the sound of drums, guitars, and breathing. Pain becomes background noise. The rhythm becomes the only signal. Because the strongest moment in the fight is the moment you refuse to stop. No limit left. Stand tall. No limit left. Break walls. No limit left. Stay strong. Fight on. Guitars crash, and instantly like a detonation, tearing through steel while the drums slam down like a war hammer smashing the ground. No calm intro, no warning, just pure noise and power, ripping the silence apart. The riff grinds heavy and brutal while the drums pound like artillery rolling across the battlefield. Every beat slams into your chest like a second heartbeat trying to break free. Cold air cuts through your lungs, but the fire in your blood refuses to slow. Your feet strike the ground harder with every step, like hammer blows against iron. Walls outside keeps whispering that you should stop. Slow down, step back from the pressure. But the louder the guitars roar, the stronger the rage inside becomes. Every doubt becomes fuel, every scar becomes proof, because pressure doesn't destroy fighters. Pressure creates them. No mercy left, stand strong. No mercy left, fight on. No mercy left, no fear. No mercy left, right here. No mercy left, push through. No mercy left, break you. The guitar scream louder now like a storm ripping across the sky, while the drums pound harder like thunder hitting the ground. The rhythm becomes savage and relentless. Your muscles burn and your lungs scream, but the motion refuses to stop. Every step becomes another strike against the limits that once held you back. Sweat falls like sparks hitting concrete, while the pulse in your chest grows louder. And in the middle of the noise, the truth becomes clear. Limits were never into a violent solo, screaming across the sky while the drums roll like thunder, crashing through the storm. Now the rhythm becomes brutal and unstoppable as the road blurs beneath your feet. The sound of breathing drums and guitars becomes one massive engine of motion. Pain fades into background noise, only the drive remains, because the strongest fighters are not the fastest or the loudest. They are the ones who refuse to stop. No mercy left, stand tall. No mercy left, break walls. No mercy left, stay strong. No mercy left, fight on. No mercy left, no fear. No mercy left, right here. The guitars detonate instantly, like a blast of electricity ripping through the dark, while the drums crash down with brutal force like steel, hammer smashing the ground. The sound erupts with no warning, a wall of noise hitting your chest like a shockwave. The riff grinds heavy and relentless, while the drums pound like war drums echoing deep inside your ribs. Every beat it's harder than the last, pushing the rhythm deeper into your body. Cold and tears through your lungs as your feet strike the ground like hammer blows against iron. Every step lands with power, every breath burns with pressure. The world outside keeps whispering that the distance is too far and the weight is too heavy, but the louder the guitars roar, the stronger the fire inside your chest becomes. Pain becomes fuel, pressure becomes strength, and the moment the rhythm locks into your pulse, there is no turning back. Unstoppable force, stand strong. Unstoppable force, fight on. Unstoppable force, no fear. Unstoppable force, right here. Unstoppable force, push through. Unstoppable force, break you. The guitars roll louder now like a storm, tearing across the sky while the drums pound like thunder, shaking the earth beneath your feet. The rhythm becomes violent and relentless, sweat falls like sparks against the asphalt, while the pulse inside your chest beats faster and harder. Every mile forward becomes a strike against every doubt that tried to stop you. Every breath becomes another proof that the body can push further than the mind once believed. The harder the rhythm hits, the stronger the motion becomes, because limits are not barriers, they are targets. crashing across the sky. The energy builds louder and louder, like a storm about to break. Now the rhythm becomes savage and unstoppable as the world begins to blur around you. The road disappears under your feet, while the sound of drums and guitars becomes the only signal. Pain fades into the background while the fire inside burns brighter, because the strongest moment in the fight is the moment you refuse to slow down. Unstoppable force, stand tall. Unstoppable force, break walls. Unstoppable force, stay strong. Unstoppable force, fight on. Unstoppable force, no fear. Unstoppable force, right here. The guitars hit instantly, like a spark igniting gasoline, while the drums crash down like thunder, breaking through the sky. The sound explodes through the air, and the rhythm locks into your chest like a second heartbeat. Oh. The world keeps talking, but the noise feels hollow, like echoes inside empty walls. Everyone moving in circles, chasing shadows while the pressure keeps building higher. You feel the weight of every expectation pressing down like gravity, trying to pull you under. But the moment the rhythm hits, something inside refuses to collapse. Every step forward becomes louder than doubt. Every breath becomes a decision not to fall back into silence, because the moment you break the quiet, something powerful begins to grow, and the noise gets louder when the lights go dark. When the pressure hits your heart, you ignite the spark. Break the silence, stand strong. Break the silence, move on. Break the silence, no fear. Break the silence, right here. The guitars roar louder like a storm rising over the city, while the drums pound deeper through the ground. The rhythm becomes a pulse that refuses to slow down. Every scar you carry becomes another reason to stand taller than before. Every mistake becomes another weapon in the fight, because the ones who survive the chaos are the ones who refuse to stay quiet. The sound becomes massive, like a wave crashing through the night. The energy builds until every doubt begins to collapse under the weight of motion. And suddenly you realize something simple: you were never meant to disappear in silence. Break the silence, stand tall. Break the silence, break walls. Break the silence, stay strong. Break the silence, move on. Break, 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 break the silence. The guitar's crashing instantly, like a steel door breaking open, while the drums hit with a deep explosive punch that shakes the air. The sound rises fast and heavy, like a storm forming above the city. Yeah, you feel the pressure building slowly like a wave about to break, while the world keeps moving faster around you. Voices in the distance keep repeating the same doubts, like echoes bouncing through empty streets. But the moment the rhythm hits your chest, something begins to shift inside. The silence that once held you back begins to crack apart. be racing against time. The rhythm becomes a force, pushing you forward through every doubt. Every mistake becomes another piece of armor. Every scar becomes another mark of survival. Because the people who rise through the chaos are the ones who learn to control the storm within. The guitars scream through the sky, while the drums roll like thunder across the horizon. Now the night begins to fade slowly, and the city lights blur behind you as the road ahead becomes clear again. The sound grows massive and the energy feels unstoppable. You realize the fight was never against the shadows, it was against the fear of facing them. When the shadows collide, stand tall. When the shadows collide, break walls. When the shadows collide, stay strong. When the shadows collide, move yeah. Yeah. Nothing flashy in this room, just repetition under gloom. Bar meets grip, grip meets bone, everything reduced to stone. No display of raw emotion, only calibrated motion. Spinal line, breath contained, every rep correctly framed. You don't overpower mass, you distribute, you balance. Angles matter more than rage, form decides what stays. Steel is honest, never loud, it exposes hollow ground. If your base is slightly wrong, it won't carry long. Set it, brace it. No sudden surge, no reckless pull. I don't rush to look powerful. Strength appears in stable lines, not in chaotic signs. Weight transfers through the frame, every joint accepts its share. No collapse in hidden parts, everything plays its role. When fatigue begins to leak through the places that are weak, that's the moment structure speaks, not in words. Instability, I don't fight instability, I remove it deliberately. Correct, adjust, re-engage. Load returns to place. Stratos! Stay exact, every layer understack. Stratos, don't give in, mass obeys discipline. Structure, hold, stay tight. Structure holds all night. Yeah. Structure holds, stay tight. Structure holds all night. Yeah. Breath gets shallow, vision tight. Still the bass remains a bright. Not explosive, not dramatic, just systematic. I don't break the pattern formed, I reinforce what was built. Strength is quiet, dense, precise, not a spectacle. Time stretches, set, drags long, but the frame remains strong. That's the difference, you can't fake when the stakes are weight. Shut up! Stay tight! Weight doesn't argue. Still waist pacing on the floor. Doesn't care who you were before. No opinion, no respect. Only answers what you live. You can lie to mirrors all day. Still responds a different way. It doesn't shout, it doesn't warn. It just stays heavy, cold. Hands are just final lines. Everywhere he draws the line between what you thought you were and what survives the load. Weight doesn't argue. It applies. Weight doesn't argue. You decide. No soundtrack height, no crowd belief, only brave, digging deep. This isn't rage, this isn't pride. This is pressure verified. Skill remembers every slip. Every week, we consistent big. You don't negotiate with mass. You either move it or less. But wait doesn't argue. It stays. It stays. It moves. Weight doesn't argue. Doesn't argue. Still weight doesn't argue. Still weight doesn't argue. Weight doesn't argue. Still weight doesn't argue. Weight doesn't argue. Still weighs patient on the floor. Still waits 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 patient on the floor. Weight doesn't argue. Yeah. Still wait. Still wait. Still wait. Still wait. Still wait. Wait doesn't argue. Still waits patient. Still waits patient on the floor. Still wait doesn't argue. Still waits patient on the floor. Still waits patient on the floor. Still waits patient on the floor. Still waits. Still waits patient on the floor. Still waits patient on the floor. Still noise stops, that's where it starts. No lights on, no hands in the air, no crowd screaming like they care. Just me, the floor, and the weight, breathing heavy, running late. I don't need a reason to move, I don't need permission to prove anything to anyone watching. I work better when nobody's talking. Pressure doesn't scare me now, I grew up inside it. Every doubt tried to slow me down, I buried it with silence. This ain't anger, this precision. Years of built up repetition. Every scar got a function, every loss got converted. Lock in, don't blink, this is it. When the noise stops, I don't freeze. When the noise stops, I go deep. When the noise stops, no disguise, that's when the real ones rise. When the noise stops, hot, hot. When the noise stops, hot, hot. When the noise stops, hot, hot. I go deep. When the noise stops, no disguise, that's when the real ones rise. Everybody loud when it's easy, everybody brave when it's light. But when it's cold, when it's heavy, they disappear overnight. I don't talk about being driven, I show up when motivation's missing. Discipline don't need a feeling, it just needs repetition. I learned early, life don't slow down for your mood. Either you sharpen under pressure or the pressure sharpens you. Hard rock grinding in my chest, heart be sinking with the stress. No release, no relief, just control, violence in my breath. When the noise stops, stay standing. When the noise stops, still grinding, no applause, no escape, just you and the wave. When the noise stops, hop, hop. When the noise stops, hop, hop. When the noise stops, hop, hop. I go deep. When the noise stops, no disguise, that's when the real ones rise, 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 rise. This is where excuses die, when there's nowhere left to hide. No mirror talk, no second voice, just the cost of every choice. You don't build strength screaming loud, you build it staying when it drags. When time slows down to a crawl, and the set feels endless, I don't chase motivation that's unstable, I rely on habit that's unbreakable. Hard rock hits like gravity, rap cuts clean like clarity, together turning pressure into something permanent. Reset again. When the noise stops, I don't fold. When the noise stops, I get cold. When the noise stops, no disguise, that's when the real ones rise. When the noise stops, howdy, howdy. When the noise stops, howdy, howdy. When the noise stops, howdy, howdy. I know deep. When the noise stops, hold the line. Everything you build gets tested in time. When the noise stops, no retreat. This is hard rock and raw belief. No noise, still here. Whoa. No comfort zone, no safety here. I don't step in calm, I step in ready. Heartbeat loud, grip already heavy. No warm lights, no friendly sound, just concrete, iron waiting ground. This ain't music for motivation, this is sound for confrontation. You don't feel inspired here, you get forced into action. Every rep strips comfort away, every breath costs more to pay. No talking, no explaining, only work that stays. I don't train when I feel strong, I train when everything feels wrong. That's when strength actually forms. It's not in ease but in storms. Lock in, I front. No comfort zone. I chase control. When motivation dies, I'm still operational. Pain doesn't scare me, it informs me, shows me exactly where to reinforce me. No pop sound, no pretty lie, this ain't made to help you smile. This is built to keep you sharp when the work is dark. Hard rock grinding through the chest, drums like fists against the ribs. Rap cuts clean, no wasted bars. Every word hits where it lives. You don't grow in comfort, you grow in resistance. That's not a quote, that experience. No comfort zone. No comfort zone. Stay exact every week. No comfort zone. No retreat, pressure stays. No comfort zone. Don't hide. No comfort zone. Hold the line.
and turns. When time slows and muscles burn. When your mind looks for escape and finds nothing, no backup plan, no second voice, just repetition to stay present in the wait and accept the cost. You don't need rage to stay here, you need structure, you need discipline that doesn't care about fear. I don't win these moments, I survive them, then I come back, and I do it again. Breathe, set again. No comfort zone, still here, no comfort zone, stay clear, no comfort zone. This is real, this is how capabilities built in steel. No comfort zone, no disguise, this is where the strong survive. This is wheels uncomfortable. If it feels uncomfortable, good. No room to hide. You're already in it.
Once it starts, there's no pause, no clean exit, no applause. You crossed the line when you showed up. Now every weakness gets exposed. No corners left, no safe side, no place where doubt can hide. Every breath pulls truth to surface. Every breath calls something. You don't get space to hesitate. You don't get time to think. The body answers instantly before the mind can blink. This is not a warning phase, this is execution. You don't prepare for moments like this. You reveal yourself. Stay tight, don't blink, move. No room to hide, no delay. No room to hide, stay in it. No room to hide, no room to hide. Hold the line, no room to hide. Face it, no room to hide. Most people quit in silence long before they stop. They negotiate in their head till effort drops. That voice wants comfort, wants an exit. I don't argue with it, I overrule it. Pain isn't dramatic here, it's mechanical. It tells you what's fail and what's structural. Hard rock hits like pressure plates, drums like this against your ribs. Rap cut straight, no metaphor. Every